As you can tell, we are down $110 for the month. Not a great way to start at all. Man, the trade that I took was honestly, I'm not going to hold you. In my opinion, I had a valid reason on why I took the trade. The edge presented itself, and if the edge presents itself, I'm going to take the trade, no matter if it's going to be a win or a loss, because I don't know if it's going to be a win or a loss. So, my edge presented itself, and the thing that I did was place the trade. Yes, I probably could have been better at focusing more on the edge, or not the edge, but on market structure. We were in a very, very, very bullish trend, and when you see the trade, you'll be like, "Why the heck did you take that trade?" Um, in my opinion, I thought I had a lot of good reasons why I should take the trade. We took out buy side liquidity, even though we had a little bit of a liquidity run, so the market continued pushing up higher. Honestly, I was playing a retracement. I was playing the retracement game because I thought we were overextended here. So here's the trade that I took, and then the target I was going for was inside of this breaker block that was formed. We took out, like I said, we took out those previous day highs. We made that bearish SMT, and the main thing was waiting for a closure in the 5 minute, which is what we got here. We waited for the 5 minute to close below this most recent high or low. We got that, and the main important thing was entering inside the fair value, which was the inverse fair value gap. But the issue with that is that one, in the 15 minute, we never closed below that same exact low that was formed. So we only wicked below it, and we respected this 5 minute bearish, or no, this 5 minute bullish fair value gap. We respected that, wicked inside the 15 minute, and then it just continued going up higher. I did reduce my drawdown. So normally I'm risking $150 to make $450. I'm only trading 3 micros. So there's not, I don't have much to stress about or worry about. Like if I lose a trade, I lose a trade. It's only $150. And this, yes, it's on an Express account, but just like the trades that I've been taking lately have not really been the best. This trade that I took was not good at all, but that's okay. The main important thing is always staying as positive as possible. I did get a little frustrated with myself, but I had to remind myself as well that this is a journey. This is not going to be easy, but losses are bound to happen, especially in trading. Losses are bound to happen, and they are. It's like you got to pretty much just prepare yourself for a loss, especially mentally, because if you just go into the market expecting to take a win, expecting to be right, and then you're wrong, then that's where things start to get a little wonky. So yeah, the trade that I took was not the best, but it's okay. But let's kind of do a little breakdown on the trade that I took and why it failed. And like I said, the main important thing, the reason why the trade failed is because in the 15 minute we never got that true closure to the downside to push the market down, and we didn't have much volume for the market to continue to push up. We had a lot of bullish confirmation that it was going to continue pushing up higher. And if I'm being completely honest with you, when I first entered the trade, or when I first was looking at the market, we had formed this 1 minute bullish SMT. And when we formed this 1 minute bullish SMT, I think my main important thing was just waiting for the market to retrace lower. Pretty much, this was a target that I was waiting for the market to retrace into. But since we formed this bearish SMT, which is a 5 minute, that kind of convinced me to try to go short. So I don't know if you can kind of tell where I was trying to go short here, but I think you can understand why I took this short position. So the main important thing was, like I said, first of all, we formed this massive bearish SMT at 10:26 a.m. And then we followed that up with another bearish SMT at 10:39 a.m. We got this massive leg down. Like I said, once we closed below this low, that convinced me to go short. And then, of course, the target was this zone here. But like I said, originally, The trade that I was going to take was waiting for the market to retrace here or give us some type of bullish SMT to confirm that the market would continue pushing up higher. And honestly, we never got that. We never really got any other signs. So I was like, okay, since the edge is presenting itself, then I might as well just go ahead and take the trade. And the challenge, of course, that I'm doing just to get better at taking trades is focusing on my execution and not my P&L. So the positive for today is that I was able to really focus on the execution and my P and or not. I was able to focus on my execution and not the P&L. Yes, I am a little frustrated that I took a loss, but I'm glad that I took a setup that I thought was correct, and still being able to execute. Last year, I had a big problem with hesitating on trades, and I missed out on so many A plus setups. So now I'm just trying to get better at executing trades and getting better every single day, executing a valid setup that I think is going to work out. So, yes, yes, we took an L, or I took an L. I don't know if you guys took a trade, but yes, I took an L. The market was so bullish. It was so bullish. But I think, like, psychology wise, the main important thing or main important reason why I did take the trade is because my edge presented itself. And yeah, so we didn't have, well, we had news at 10 a.m. This ISM manufacturing PMI, I honestly don't know what that does for the markets. We didn't really get any moves at 10 a.m. I think it was just, let's see, where's 10 a.m. at? Actually, yeah, we did. So here was the 10 a.m. candle, and we actually got a major expansion move. And that right there, honestly, that, now that I'm looking at it, just seeing that expansion move to the upside based off of that red folder candle or the ISM candle, I should have taken that into consideration and been like, okay, since we are making more bullish moves off of that red folder news, then I shouldn't try to go short. Even if it's just a retracement, that the move was never to go short anyway, just looking at the markets. And of course, this is hindsight speaking because of course I don't know. The market could have retraced at the very into that breaker block, but it didn't. So I gotta make sure I'm not speaking too much on the hindsight. But I think this is very important for people to understand why execution is very important. You may take a loss, you may not, but your main important thing is just focusing in on execution. Like P&L, that will come. I always ask myself, like, why is everybody else succeeding? Why is everybody else doing this? What am I doing wrong? But that's something that I have to get better at, and I can't always, why is everybody else doing better than me, this and that, if I'm not still putting in enough work to get better at trading. So one of the main things that I've been holding off on was just getting a what is it, it's on TradingView, like getting the pretty much been able to back test. But the only thing is like paying for it. Like, oh my gosh, I do not want to pay for TradingView. Like, dude, can they like give me a sponsorship or something? Cause bro, I'm just so tired of paying for TradingView. So yeah, my main thing is probably getting a lot better at doing more back testing, and then focusing on taking better trades. And honestly, it's like I'm 50-50 when it comes to back testing because I've back tested so much in the past, and it's like now I truly believe that I have the strategy. It's just being patient enough to wait for the strategy to present itself. And this, to be honest with you, this doesn't even follow the strategy at all. It really doesn't. Because this was it, we didn't have a liquidity sweep at all. Like, once we took out those higher time frame, as I'm looking at the charts now, as when we took out these highs, that were formed here, it's not like we swept it and made moves to the downside. We literally had a liquidity run, and the market continued pushing back up. So there was not really any true reason on why I should have went short here. Um, of course, lessons are learned here throughout the whole process, but yeah, we even retraced inside the 50% equilibrium as well. Wow. Yeah, so the market, oh, that sucks balls. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this was not a short position at all, but it's okay. We also had news that came out, or that's coming out tomorrow. Very tentative news. There's not really much news that we're seeing at the moment. It's very tentative only because of the government shutdown. So the markets we may not even get news tomorrow, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I'm actually looking at the news right now. Yeah, so I don't know. Man, y'all, this is trading is not easy. It is not easy. And yes, I did pass and get my funded account, but these are mistakes that I've made back in the past, which is crazy. Like trading against the trend, there's not really a reason. There's I gotta stop. I gotta stop. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Ah, man. It's okay. Positive thinking is going to take me a long way here. I am frustrated. Oh my gosh, bro. It's so okay. I have to stop. That's been my issue, is just thinking so much of a loss, dude. I've had just like every time I take a loss, I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. There's no way I did that. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, this. Speak in hindsight, and then I just keep on going back and reasoning why I took the trade. What was I thinking? All these things are in my head, and I think that's been one of the harder things too as well, like just the psychology part of taking a loss. But this is why it's very important that you just separate yourself from the markets and separate yourself from looking at the charts. I think it's going to be important that like once I take a loss, like literally not looking at the charts for the rest of the day, because now I'm looking at the charts again and I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, there's no way I took that loss. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's just going to be very important that I just stop looking at the charts after a loss and just give it a couple of days and then kind of go back and do a back test and figure out what the issue was. I mean, we figured out what the issue was anyway here. It just wasn't a good short position. You know, market structure wasn't correct. Yes, we did have bearish SMTs, but those bearish SMTs wasn't followed up with any true um, change in structure or any what is it? Any true reversals or anything like that. So yeah, it's one of those things. I just got to be a lot more careful on my entries and just focusing on getting better every single day. But yeah, that's all I really have for the video. This is a very different style video, but um, I'm just trying everything out just to kind of see what works and what doesn't work. But that is all I have for the video. Leave a like and subscribe. We are 2 subs away from 400 and 100 subs away from 500. My goodness, we've come such a long way. But yes, we're going to continue to get better. We're going to continue to grind. We're going to continue to work on our craft. But most importantly, we are going to continue to stay as positive as possible. That is going to be the main important thing. We are focused on execution, not P&L. If I see an A+ setup, in my opinion, and the execution is there, and I take the execution, that's what's going to matter. But until then, see you tomorrow if I take a trade. If I don't, it is what it is. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.